Hi there, it's Laura Trotter from lauratrotter.com and self-sufficiencyinthesuburbs.com. And I just wanted to welcome you into my kitchen this Saturday morning because I just want to show you something that I do, and I do this every single year around about this time of year when the weather cools down and I really start craving soups. And yeah, I'm just going to show you how I turn my Christmas ham bone that obviously we ate months ago at Christmas time, and it's been sitting in the freezer ever since, into a delicious winter pea and ham soup. Now, I really want to share this because it's a philosophy that I believe in if you do eat meat, and our family does eat meat, although we do try and invest in a really good ethically produced meat like organic and free range when we do eat meat. So when we do spend that money on meat, my aim is to stretch it as far as possible in our cooking. So, you know, if you've had a roast, you can use that bone to make a bone broth and to make a soup, or any spare meat, you can make a frittata, or, you know, goes in sandwiches or salads or whatever you can turn it into to keep stretching that meat through meals. So I can see we've got a few people live on the call, so be sure to let me know where you're tuning in from and what you do with your Christmas ham bone. Do you save it, or do you toss it out at the end of Christmas and forget about it? It never really crosses your mind that you can turn it into another really cheap and affordable and sustainable meal. Now, this is all about what I call being an ecotarian, and that is really eating with the environment in mind and really trying to get that mileage from the food that you buy, and be really, not frugal's not really the word, although that can apply to it, but just be really conscious with your food choices, where you're buying the food, the quality of food you're buying, how the food was produced and grown, and then getting the most out of it. So today, let's jump straight into it. We're talking about pea and ham soup, made from my Christmas ham bone. So this is a Christmas ham bone. It was a free Barossa Fine Foods, free range, nitrite free ham. So it was a very happy, I guess, pig, and cost a bit of money. That, you know, you do pay extra for that. So what I do is I just pop it in the freezer on Boxing Day or whenever we finish it, and the ham just sits in there until the weather cools. The ham bone, sorry, with still leave a fair bit of meat on it too. And so basically what I have done, and I'm going to bring the camera down, I've got my slow cooker on here and my ham bone, and I'll put a link into the video on how to make, whoa, drop the camera. Lucky the lid was not off. Whoops-a-daisy, spot the amateur videographer. So this is the bone broth that I have made. So I'm just going to pop the lid over here near the sink. So what we have here is the ham bone filled with water, and also I had a whole carrot and an onion that I chopped in half, and I didn't pop a bay leaf, I was a bit lazy there. So I put this together late last night, just before I went to bed. I just bunged it all in the pot with a quarter of a cup of apple cider vinegar as well, just to extract some of the nutrients out of the bone. So this has been ticking over actually for over 12 hours now, so we're 11 o'clock in the morning. At the same time last night, I got 500 grams of dried split peas, and I just soaked them at the same time. So I've strained them and rinsed them now. So they've been soaking overnight as well. And there's a couple reasons why you soak dried peas. It really significantly reduces their cooking time. It also gives them that extra rinse before you cook with them. And I'm not sure if this is scientifically proven, but I think it helps to reduce the wind and any bloating that you can get from eating legumes and pulses if yours, might be a little bit affected. So they soaked overnight as well. So I had the bone broth with the ham bone, the veggies and the apple cider vinegar in it overnight, and the peas soaking. Okay, so let's get started. Basically, what I do, I'm going to take this ham bone out. And I will, as you can see, excuse all the mess in my messy kitchen, we have been cooking a bit. So the ham bone comes out, some of that meat will fall off, which is perfectly fine. Just pop that up here. But that flavour has gone through all of that broth. I often just use this skimmer looking up my nose, this skimmer as well. Just get these veggies out. Now these veggies go straight in our chook bucket and our chickens eat them. But if you don't have chickens, you can compost them. Or if you live in like an apartment or somewhere small, grab a bokashi bin. I can pop the link to one of those below in the comments. Bokashi bins are great if you're in a small space, and you can also pop meat and some other non-vegetable items in a bokashi bin. I'm going to save that bit of meat. So as you can see, there's not a lot of meat in this pea and ham soup, but that smoked flavour from the bone will go all the way through it. I can go to the chickens as well. So yeah, I just skim it a bit like that. Hello, be sure to tell me where you're tuning in from and whether or not you reuse your Christmas ham to make pea and ham soup each winter, as I do. I just love soups. I grew up on soups. My mum always made a lot of soups, and soups are, apart from I guess some nice fresh fruit, soups are really my favourite food. So it's a bit hard for me to have the camera and show you what I'm doing here as well, so I'm just going to chat while I do it. So I don't want to drop the camera over here again, so I'm just going to pour these. I'll just pop the peas in first. So that was 500 grams of dried split green peas, and as I said, I'll share the link to the I didn't bring my spatula, to that blog and another video where I should just show you how to make your bone broth or your basically your stock, the ham bone stock. You don't have to do it in a slow cooker. You can just have it on the stove top. But I just find it's so easy to do in the slow cooker, and I just set it on before I go to bed, and then it's ready the next morning. And like I said, soaks the peas as well. So those peas are in there. So what else will I pop in? So this is, I don't even know how many litres this pot is, but I think that's a couple of litres, maybe about 2 or 3 litres of stock. I chop up 2 onions, and I usually use brown onions. I've just run out, so I'm using red, so no big deal. Kind of like an onion for this. I use 2 to 3 carrots. I do like carrots in pea and ham soup. They just soften it, just have that bit of chunk, because those green dried split peas will just turn into a mush, like a pea mush, and so it's nice to have the carrots there. And I also pop some celery in, so I've got 2 or 3 stalks there. I have a lot of celery in my fridge, so I probably would normally maybe not add quite that much, but I want to get rid of some. And a couple of bay leaves as well. And you can add salt and pepper if you wish. And just before serving, I add some, like a little bit of lemon juice. You can also pan fry up, so if you want more meat in it. Like I said, there's not that much meat on that ham bone. You could also pan fry up some free-range, nitrite-free bacon and add to that as well. That's my kids outside running around playing. So it's Saturday morning. We've just come back from football. Matthew, my eldest, has just started playing football or cheering the team on. He got a kick. He got a couple of touches today, so that was pretty exciting. But he's playing Aussie rules just like his dad used to. And he's our dancer. He does hip hop and jazz and tap, and he really wants to play footy. So we'll just see how that goes. See how long he did really well today. So I'm a bit proud. So I'm turning into a footy mum. And it was a beautiful sunshiny day. So what's it like where you are? So yeah, I'm just going to do some chopping. I could probably pop this down. Like I said, any of the veggie scraps just go straight in our chook bucket, and the hens will love them. I'm just going to make sure I don't flip this. No, it's going to flip over. Sorry. Because I almost dropped you in the pot before. So basically, what else do I want to say? I'm just going to chat while I do this. It's not going to take too long. So really, as you know, I am a sustainable living educator, and I always get that question about can you be sustainable and eat meat? It's a really emotionally filled question, because obviously a lot of people choose not to eat meat for ethical reasons, or onions, and they don't want any animal to have been killed or used in the production of their food, and that's totally okay and totally believable. We do, as a culture, as a world, we do need to eat a lot less meat. Definitely. Sorry, I'm going to start. Onions, they really affect me. Hang on. I'm going to have to rinse this under the tap. We do need to eat a lot less meat in the world, but it actually comes down to, if you can check out one of my podcast episodes where I chat to regenerative farmer Joel Salatin from Polyface Farms in the States, in Virginia. It's really not about the meat so much. It's possible to farm where you're regenerating and improving the quality of the soil. So Polyface Farms is an example of one of those farms in the world. Border Park Organics in South Australia is another one. And when we do have meat, not that we eat a lot of meat, we get our bulk deliveries from Border Park Organics. So it's a regenerative farm that actually restores the landscape, not like traditional, it's not so much traditional, but the conventional farming these days that just tends to sap all the nutrients out of the soil. So proper organic, regenerative, and biodynamic farming practices restore the soil and can indeed reclaim environments that were past, putting the onion in, so that's 2 onions, that were very, very deteriorated land. So Polyface Farms is an example. And yeah, listen to that. I'll pop a few links below this video at the end, but yeah, you can listen to that episode on the podcast where I chatted with Joel all about what regenerative farming is and whether or not you can have meat at the table. So I have had times in my life where I've been vegan and vegetarian. I'm not at the moment, just because my health was really suffering, and I was struggling with the demands of motherhood and running a business, and very, very low in iron. So it's a personal choice to you, but when we do eat meat, we eat meat that's been grown and raised and ethically raised on a regenerative farm, such as Border Park Organics. So I'm just chopping up the celery now, and again, when we do get that meat, we just stretch it as far as possible. Hence, we're reusing the Christmas bone, and like what a lot of people would throw that Christmas bone out, can actually turning it into. This is more than one meal. This is probably 7 or 8 bowls of soup. So I generally have soup for lunch this time of year. So this is a good week's worth of meals for me, just from a little bit of celery, a little bit of carrot, a Christmas bone that could have just been turfed out, and 500 grams of split peas, which is just a few dollars. So very, very cheap, very sustainable. And we do that too. So if we ever have a roast lamb, I'll do the same thing. I'll turn it into a soup. I make a lamb and barley and winter vegetable soup. So parsnips, swedes and turnips, and it's a really beautiful soup. I've actually got the recipe for that in my Ecotarian guide, which is for sale on my website at lauratrotter.com. It's just $15. So I've got quite a few soups in there, and that guide's just really full of a lot of the recipes that I use. A lot of them I've made up myself, that are sustainable recipes that a lot of Ecotarian recipes, I call them. So a lot of them are plant-based, but then the ones that do have meat are using reusing bones, reusing cuts of meat that obviously would have been ditched. So you won't see me using a lot of things like chicken breasts or porterhouse steaks and things like that. I would tend to be using more the bones, where I can use the meat and the bone. Yeah, like I said, it's more economical and it's much more sustainable, and you get all the nutrients from the bones. Like, they're so good for our joints, so good for our gut health. Really, really good for our gut health. So I'm pretty much done. So that was the celery. So I put the onion, the celery. I'm going to throw a couple of bay leaves in. And then I'm just going to have some carrots. But feel free to ask me. Let's chat. I don't want to just talk to you. You can chat to me. Please tell me where you're tuning in from. Tell me if you like soups, if you like cooking and eating soups. What's your favourite soup? I'd love to know. My favourite soup is, you don't have to peel your carrots. In fact, these are pretty clean and they are organic carrots, so I'm not even going to bother peeling them. I'm just going to pop them in. So, yeah, what's your favourite soup? My favourite soup is actually that lamb, barley and winter vegetable soup. That's in my Ecotarian guide. It's not even my mum's recipe. I don't even think it's my mother's recipe. I think it's my mother's recipe. A very old recipe from Ireland, where my ancestors are all from. Hi guys. Oh, what's happened? Uh-oh. Don't know if we've got a blood nose or everyone's coming off the trampoline, head down the other end of the house. Dad's got everything under control, which is great. So yeah, just gonna put these carrots in. But yeah, so my favourite, whoops, dropped that. So the carrots all chopped up like that. I need to get a decent camera so I can... Actually, I'll just pull this down so you can watch me carrot cut too. So yeah, we'll not going to cut on the cord, so you might be able to see a little bit more there. Yeah, so you see. Yeah, so my favourite's that lamb and winter vegetable and barley, an old Irish recipe. That's really good. Really warming in winter, really filling. I personally think pulses and lentils are so underrated. But yeah, like I said, if you do follow a plant-based diet, that Ecotarian guide has heaps of plant-based recipes as well. I mean, just soups alone. I think I've got my red lentil and potato soup, which has coriander in it as well, in that recipe guide. And I think I've also got potato and a leek. Yeah, ricotta. I mean, other meals as well. So ricotta and spinach, or ricotta and warrigal greens, cannellonis, ricotta gnocchi. I think I've got that in there because I make that quite a lot as well. We do tend to eat a fair bit of ricotta in our household, and obviously a lot of spinach because we grow in our garden. We've got a lot of warrigal greens, which is a native spinach. So pop that in, and I'm pretty much almost done. So you're very quiet. No one's talking with me. What's going on? Yeah, so almost done. So as I said, as I showed at the start of this little video, I taken that ham bone out. I just let it cool down, and then I just and take whatever meat's left off the pot. And like I said, you can fry up some extra bacon if you want to pop it in. I'm pretty content with the flavour of the soup because it'll have that really nice smoky flavour throughout, just from that ham bone and the little bit of meat that was left on that bone alone. But yeah, it's up to you. You just taste and see. Hey Megan, I'm loving that it's soup weather too. Getting my soup on. So yeah, it'll be pea and ham soup for me next week. This week I was having that lamb and barley and winter vegetable soup I was telling you about. I don't know what next week's soup is. I might do potato and leek or another pumpkin. I had pumpkin probably the week before that. So I tend to make a big batch of soup most weekends, and just have it for lunches during the week. So last bit of carrots are in. Definitely soup weather where we are. Although the nights are cool, the days are nice and warm. So everything is in, apart from the meat off the bone. I can just leave that for a bit longer. But you can see in here, nice and full. So you can add some salt and pepper as well, or you can pop that in a bit later. Basically, I've got that on low. You'll see you basically want to cook it until those peas turn to mush and all those vegetables just get really soft, and you can take the bay leaf out, add a bit of lemon juice before serving if you're so inclined. I'll grab that lid, pop it back on. I could add some of that meat now. It's cool enough for me to just pull off that bone, but I might just pull off the bone and just tuck it aside in the fridge, because those peas are probably going to take a good 6 hours or so on the slow cooker to cook. And of course you can do this on the stovetop. They take about an hour to cook on the stovetop in a decent pot for sure. But I just like the slow cooker so much. I've got a gas stovetop. I've got some really hot pan saucepans, really good quality saucepans, that it's just easy to have the soup bubbling, and peas can froth a bit too. saying that, the more vegetables and other stuff you add, they don't tend to froth as much. So if you were just boiling peas by themselves, you get that frothy scum on the top. Not so much with this. But I find it's just a lot easier to control in the slow cooker, and it doesn't stink out the house as much. Cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. How to reuse your Christmas ham and turn it into pea and ham soup. I don't know if you've got your ham bone in the freezer from last Christmas. You might have already just ditched it, but this coming Christmas, and I know it's still only 6-7 months away, quite a long way away, make sure you save it, because you get an entire week's meals, I guess probably for one person, like soup for every day. And not that I would have pea and ham soup every day, because, you know, it is it can make me a little bit windy, but I freeze it in batches too. So, yeah, but it just turns, like, for the price of a few dollars, you get a massive batch of soup and reuse that ham bone, and it's really good for your health too, particularly your gut health. So, if anyone got any questions, I will, as soon as I finish this video, I'll pop the link to my Ecotarian recipe guide below, and you can grab that. It's just $15. And another really exciting thing is I'm opening the doors to my Self-Sufficiency in the Suburbs membership in a couple of weeks, and members actually get that guide for free. And you can join Self-Sufficiency. It's just $29 a month, so $29 to get started, and you can get that guide that's worth $15 straight away. So you get all those awesome Ecotarian sustainable recipes. Yeah, I will enjoy this, Megan. I wanted to get up early and do it so it was ready for lunch, but I didn't get it done before we had to go to footy. But anyway, maybe next week or next time. But anyway, I will catch you all later. Enjoy your weekend, and yeah, I'm going to be enjoying pea and ham soup. Maybe not today lunch, maybe tomorrow. I'll catch you later. Bye.